Hello everyone, here we are again to talk about Microsoft robotics and ChatGPT together. And this is my preferred subject. I really love to talk about robotics. I work with robotics for a long period of time, and for so long time I was talking to people, well, we must start programming things in natural language. We must start doing some programs in natural language, but I'm not believing that this is becoming true. This kind of things is becoming true, and so Microsoft is doing this based on controlling robots, and this is I just make some a small investigation, so I will try to 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 bring for you what is going on here, and let's try to understand what's going on. Okay, in a recent paper, researchers at Microsoft Autonomous Systems and Robotics Groups showed how OpenAI ChatGPT can be used for robotics applications, including how to design prompts and how to direct ChatGPT to use specific robotic libraries to program the task at hand. I didn't saw this paper, but I will see this paper soon to understand better what's going on. But let's go deep. As Microsoft engineer explained, current robotics relies on a tight feedback loop between the robot and an engineer who is responsible to code the task, observe the robot behavior, and correct it by writing additional code. Well, this is a assisted programming. Robot do something, the engineer looks, the programmer. I won't call this guy engineer because at that level of programming, because is made it in natural language, do not must be an engineer anymore. Well, but the engineer prompt some ideas to the robot to do. The robot executes, so the engineer rewrite the prompt to correct and to achieve the expected behavior. Well, that's the idea. In Microsoft Vision, ChatGPT could be used to translate a human language description of the task to accomplish it into code for the robot. This would make it possible to replace the engineer in the loop with a non-technical user. Perfect. That's exactly what I was talking about. On the loop, only responsible to provide the original task description in a human language, observe the robot, and provide feedback about robot's behavior. Again, in human language, which ChatGPT would also turn into code to improve the behavior. Perfect. For me, this is completely understandable. And I don't think that we must program robotic systems like autonomous robots and something like that, but we must program everything in natural language. For example, if every kind of task that we do in real life could be automated in some way by natural language, and we can choose by using natural language or trying to program with code, or our choice to decide what kind of programming we will use. Using their experimental approach, Microsoft researchers create a number of case studies which include zero-shot tasks planning to instruct a drone to inspect the content of a shelf, manipulating an object through, through a robotic arm, searching for a specific object in the environment using object detection and object distance APIs and others. Well, zero shot means this is a new concept about the it's a new concept about how we can interact with the detections. For example, when we have a one-shot detection, you take a single picture and you make a learning. based on a single learn in a single picture, or or few shots to when you need to give some few examples to teach the computer something they must detect. And this is important because the old versions, the general versions of detection takes so much images to make some detections, and because we have one shot and few shot detections, this is an improvement. But zero shot tasks, it's important because they are talking about not taking pictures, and and the reason this expression zero shot is appearing here is just because when we detect some images, some objects in the images, we can we can use language to understand better the environment. For example, if you have a horse and this horse, it's black and white, and the description of the horse is black and white. Because we are using language, we can think about this is not a horse, this is a zebra, because zebra is the appearance of the zebra is the same of a horse, but the colors of the zebra are completely different. And because of that, you don't need to take a picture to get this conclusion. Um, Perfect, and that is the real improvement. I am a psychologist and I work with robotics for a long, almost 10 years, and this for me is we are starting to use programming languages of not only to robots, but programming language to think like us, to use to understand the world like us, because it's a long talk to explain this better, but our world is psychological and subjective. The things that we are seeing are not in the objects. Are inside our knowledge, are inside our learning of things that we know. In all these cases, ChatGPT was able to generate the code to control the robots as well to ask for clarifications to better carry the task through when it found user input ambiguous, say Microsoft. Perfect. Microsoft Work made ChatGPT usable for robotics applications, focus on three main areas of investigation: how to design prompts used to guide ChatGPT using API and creating new high levels API, and how to provide human feedback through text. Those three areas represents the keystones of a methodology to use ChatGPT for robotic tasks. Perfect. In a first step, the user defined a set of high-level API or function libraries that ChatGPT should use. This library can be specific to a particular robot and should map to existing low-level implementations from the robot's control stack or a perception library. It's very important to use a descriptive name for the high-level APIs so ChatGPT can reason about their behavior. This is pretty much important. When we think about robotics, robotics have sensors, have models of sensors, everything inside the robot and the processor, the memory, everything is is dedicated to this robot. If the robot have wheels, or the robot is a drone, it's completely different the way the robot interacts with the world. So we must understand that the way the system controls the robot will be completely different. But when we are working with agents, we can overcome this kind of difference, and even when we are using language, we can overcome some of this language, and that could be the same with some little differences. In the second step, the user provides a description of the task goal specified in terms of the variable APIs or functions. Okay, perfect. In that case, I am understanding. First things first. Define the set of high level APIs and functions that the ChatGPT should use. Okay, we must define this. And the second step, provide a description of the task goal specified in terms of the variable APIs or function. Okay, as I understand, you can go forward, can go back, and go grab something, and so you provide some high level instructions to do this kind of get this get the a cup and so on. Finally, to the user evaluates ChatGPT code by using a simulator or inspecting the code and provides feedback for ChatGPT to correct its code. Perfect. It's just like a father teaching a son, just correcting the behavior. When the outcome is satisfactory to the user, a robot can be programmed using generated code. Perfect. Microsoft is also launching a collaborative open source platform for users to share prompting strategies for different robots categories, which at the moment includes all the prompts and conversations that Microsoft team used for their research. Additionally, they also plan to add a robot simulators and interface to test ChatGPT generated algorithms. Yes, when we are dealing with robots, we use to talk that if your model, if your controlling, if your model of control for controlling the robot not works in the virtual environment, they for sure will not work in the real environment. Okay, this guy is talking that Microsoft is trying to do that, and in the end here, they talk about open source platform. Let's take a look. I'll just take a look fast about this, and this guy is in the Microsoft GitHub. This code is completely official. Is not some people random doing math. No, this is the official Microsoft uh, GitHub. It means real code built for Microsoft uses, and prompt craft robotics. And I will show what is interesting to me. First thing I want to find here, rapidly looking, is where we can find some way to install that, how to use. And I didn't see anything here that we can understand how to install this, but there is a video. I saw this video. I can see with you guys in the next time. There is a paper, and there is a blog. Let's take a look at this blog to understand what's going on. ChatGPT for robotics. Okay, here is the video, the paper, the video, the prompt craft code where we are right now. Here, here in this example, there is a robot hanging around inside the room, and a robot doing tasks with a robotic arm. And here we have a drone making something inside the house. And here is ChatGPT for robotics, and some I some smart ideas how to use robotics today. Engineer in the loop. Objective. Okay, the engineer have an objective, create a program, so they deploy and the robotic executes and improve the performance. Go over with the ChatGPT, user on the loop. Okay, that's the difference. It must be clear. Is much more clear. That's the difference. Here they are trying to change the engineer to user. This is a completely brand new way of think. I was talking to people. I was talking to all of my friends that the engineer, the programmer will became a simple user. Normal, regular people creating programs just because we don't know, we don't need anymore to create some to create. I really enjoyed this idea. I really enjoy. I was so interested in this kind of programming. I will take a huge look to this, and I will embrace this so much. Okay, I understand better right now. The idea here is just to change the engineer to user. So the user have a goal to pass to ChatGPT. User on the loop. Uh, any task, any robot. Inspect shelves in. Oh, perfect. Just because if this high level tasks developed by the engineer are are robust enough to to leave the drone to make this inspection by itself, we can pass to people to do this in a regular world. My experience shows me that this kind of tasks are um, are usually with a lot of restrictions that we pass to the user. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. You explain the limitations of the system, and the user, as soon as the user understand what's going on and how the what the robot is able to do, this user in the loop is perfect, and clearly anyone can make a programming with robotics. Some years ago, we started to in robotics we started to receive some robots, and some robots were was developed just by pressing some buttons, and the user can grab the robotic arms with his own hands and move the robots with his own hands. And this kind of programming was so different and so full of novelty to industrial robots. But that new kind of user in the loop is much more interesting. So that's it. That's it. In this case, the people will ask for some tests to the robot, and the model will improve itself. This is much really incredible. That idea, I believe that was something so futurist, but it's a reality. Well, that's it. Zero shot task planning. The idea of zero shot I have already explained is something that you just pass the planning to the you just simply pass the idea that you have, and the robot must do very in the very try the very first try. This is so human. When you let's for example, we, the, you are in a new place that you never been before. You are a completely new place, and there is some people there, and someone go came to you and asked for you, please get me a cup of water. No matter, no, it's not important that you never stayed that before, because you have in mind something, some actions that you could do, even even when you don't know what where things are, because you are creative, and you will be create a strategy of exploration first, and try to find some things that are essential. For example, the cup, and where the cup is, and where the water is. And once you solve these questions, you grab the cup and catch the water, or you can make some substitutions for another objects, and that's it. Well, I'm pretty much excited. There is a lot of there is much more things to learn here, much more things to read here. There is some this AirSim interface. This AirSim I saw here, for example, and so ChatGPT prompting guides and examples. So this code we that um, we have some examples. Let's try to understand this. Visual servoing with basketball. I don't know what's going on. Servoing is maybe they are talk maybe he's talking about motors, servo motors, and basketball to throw servo motors. Okay, we have detect ball, catch ball, and that's it. Oh, here is this is interesting. This ball is a virtual ball. Perfect. I really enjoy when we start with small steps. For example, catch this single ball with so few possibilities that you can try to understand and get the first intuitions before grabbing a real robot full of, for example, manipulation, full embodied agent. Let's try to understand here. Okay, RSIM navigation, RGBD. RSIM navigation, I understand that probably will be. This is I was expecting to see some pictures, but don't have any pictures. Here we have some pictures. Prompt craft to robotics. Visual language navigation. That kind of programming is so dumb. Turn angle. That's not the way we think about. We think turn, go to this door, something like that. Yes, there is some examples how this guy solved this problem, and as I saw here something related to how to install. I saw this simulator link. Oh yes, that's it. I believe that's it. Simulator link. Yes, this simulator getting started Windows only for now. This is pretty much interesting. I don't like Microsoft because Microsoft have some ideas that I don't agree and I don't like. Um, and but Microsoft is the is in my point of view is uh, it's a place that made so much effort to to make accessible computers, robotics, and so on. They are pretty much capitalist um, company. This that's I don't like so much, but in other hand, they are so inclusive, and this Windows only for now means this guy are trying to make this compatible with Linux and iOS. And when we think about the opposite way, iOS are not trying to make things compatible to Windows, and Linux the same. That's for me it's something important because Windows have created have increased the that that the reach that they have to other people just because they are making Microsoft things more compatible. And Microsoft are now understanding that they can do this. This will not remove the remove Microsoft from some leadership. And this ChatGPT thing is completely important to the Microsoft history because maybe they are changing the world in a way that will be so difficult to Google to go to the same step. Well, that's it. we have something to use. We have an air sim simulator. This is pretty much interesting. Let's see what's going on if I put air sim at the YouTube. Oh, another thing important. This air sim simulator is made it in Unreal, and this is pretty much interesting because Unreal is a game engine pretty much used for a lot of people, and this could be much interesting, pretty much interesting. Harnessing high fidelity simulation for autonomous system through RSIM. Okay, this is a Microsoft research explaining what's going on with RSIM. Well, there is a lot of things related to Microsoft and RSIM. I didn't know that. I am this information are coming to me right now. I know that Microsoft have his own simulator some years ago, but they finished this program some years for a long time ago. And I will try to understand. I will try to install this RSim Unreal Simulator and see if this. I believe that this will be so huge and so um, high weight simulation to do, and this must be impossible maybe to use with deep learning, for example, because deep learning takes a lot of processing to and this could be something important to understand if this simulation will work well, pretty much well, or this simulation will be something useful for everyone. Well, thank you so much for watching. I see you later, and we can talk more about robotics in the future. Bye.